And he's already broken in half. As Leo Kim Video says, welcome to the dark side. Oh shoot. There he goes. Oh man, that's gotta hurt. I mean, just look at that poor guy's face. He has been through some crazy stuff. So before we begin, I should probably explain why this video took so long. Well, I originally ordered a few knockoffs a couple months ago, planning to make a video similar to the first one. However, upon actually seeing what I got, it just wasn't as interesting as I expected, so I initially cancelled the video. But as the months went by, I eventually found more and more knockoffs, and now, I just have a bunch of random videos of me reviewing them. So with that said, this is gonna be a little different, as instead of being just one big video, it'll be more of a compilation of smaller reviews, so there might be a few awkward cuts or some other weird changes. But with that said, I hope it'll still be somewhat interesting because we certainly got a few creatures to look at. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright everyone, so as you can see in front of us, we have even more knockoff Bluey merch that I found online. We got a couple of baggies over here that we're gonna open up that are just full of a bunch of random stuff. And back there we got a family and friends pack that isn't official but looks incredibly similar. And the reason I wanted to make this video is not only because the last one was so popular for some reason, but because I've noticed that when it comes to things like the plushies and the family and friends 8-pack you see back there, they have actually been blowing up quite a bit lately. So for today's video, I just got a couple of things online, as I mentioned earlier, and we're just gonna open up all this stuff and see what kind of crazy stuff we get into. I think there's just like one plushie or something in here, but let's get this bad boy open and see what we got. Oh no, not again. Well, she looks like she's in pain. Okay, so this is the one that I reviewed in the last video that I just pulled out really quickly. And here is the one I just got for this video. And as you can see, the designs for the two are pretty similar. It looks like they copied the same design, but there are a couple of differences, as this one has a slightly different color, especially in the yellows. The eyes are very skinny for some reason, not quite sure how that happened, and overall, this one just looks like an egg. Alright, so that was a bit of a disappointing start, but over here we have something that I'm sure is something I don't have yet. And it's this giant bag right here, which is significantly larger than the one we just got, so we should get something interesting in here. But yeah, I believe a couple months ago, I just went on Wish and eBay, I think, and a bunch of other online retailers, and I just ordered basically every knockoff I could find, just to see how much weird stuff I could get. And I remember I actually tried to order this mug with a picture of Bluey dabbing on it, but unfortunately the seller canceled my order, so that was unfortunate. And oh boy, as you can see, this one's filled with all sorts of goodies, for better for worse. So moving these slippers out of the way, I guess we'll just take a quick look at this Bandit plush right here, or at least their attempt at making Bandit, because honestly they'll never be able to create his design perfectly. But here it is. Just rip open the bag, and here is the man himself, or at least a very crude attempt at recreating him. Oh geez, that face is sloppy. But yeah, this knockoff is so flimsy that honestly this thing won't even stand up by itself, which frankly I don't care anyway, since I have no regard for its well-being. But here is the legitimate Bandit plush. As you can see from, I guess, a person who doesn't know much about toys, they could mistake this one as being legit, but it is missing a significant amount of details, and it just looks flimsy compared to the nice real McCoy one. So with that said, I guess we'll just take a look at these cute or terrifying slippers, depending on how you feel, because honestly it can go both ways. But yeah, these things are kind of creepy, but I'm gonna open them and release them anyways. And here's Abomination one, and here's their twin sister. As you can see, these are just generic slippers, except they're themed after a very familiar blue cartoon dog. But yeah, overall these are pretty strange. They look pretty similar to the knockoff plushies we see over here. Once again, probably the same cursed manufacturer. Love to see how that factory runs. But yeah, not much to say other than they're kind of adorable, but very cursed bootleg Bluey slippers in case you want to have that in your life. Also, taking a real close look at the plush, as you can see, it looks okay at the surface, but once you get a really close look, you can start to see the cons of the plush. As you can see, the coloring for the eyes is pretty rough, and there's a couple of loose threads here and there, like on this one. And as you can see, the nose is very flimsy, and it looks like they rammed this plush into a wall. But yeah, overall, not terrible quality, but you can definitely tell that it's lacking in some parts. So with that, we are on to our very last item for today. I'll probably get more stuff in the future, but for now, here it is. Arguably the most interesting knockoff I've seen so far, which is a kind of legit looking Bluey 8-pack. But as you can see, there are a lot of suspicious things about it. And before I begin, I might as well tell you how I got this thing. I know it's been popping up on eBay a lot recently, and it's been selling like crazy. But the first place I saw this was on Wish, I believe. And what's interesting and very sneaky is that the original price, I believe, for the listing was actually pretty good. It was like $10 or something, let's just say. However, the thing is that they often have different selections of like different characters and packaging. And for this one, I didn't get to pay $10, but had the luxury to pay, I believe, about $30, which is even more than the official product, which is very ridiculous, but whatever. So yeah, once again, they'll often advertise very cheap prices, but for the actual thing in the picture, it'll cost way more. And I assume the delivery charge was so expensive because apparently whenever they send these out, they have to hire a monster truck to run it over because, dear God, the packaging condition is abysmal. Like, how do you even get it this bad? Like, you would have to physically beat it up or run it over with the delivery truck in order to get it this bad. I mean, I paid like 10 extra bucks just to get it in this official looking package. So yeah, obviously a big ripoff to contain something that's in itself already a ripoff. Great. But the reason I actually spent that money and tortured my wallet is so I can make a comparison with the real thing, which you can see right here. So, as you can probably already tell, the knockoff one is basically just a direct copy of the original packaging, since everything else is basically a direct copy. So you can see both of them say Bluey on the front, both have the 3+ information, and the characters that are included, and as you can see down here, both of them do have choking hazard warnings, but interestingly, the official one displays the toy manufacturer, which is Moose, while it's completely omitted on the knockoff version. And of course, the back of the bootleg set is remarkably similar to the original, with just worse printing quality. It appears to have all of the same information and even promotions for the other figurine sets, which they hopefully won't make, or hopefully, since I can make new videos. But other than that, it appears to be almost the same thing. There isn't the plastic on the back like this one, but the most notable difference is that, once again, the copyright information about the show and information about the toy manufacturer are not present on the original. We just have to snap this piece of tape because, once again, despite how much money I gave them, they couldn't bother to secure it properly. And I think it just comes out like that. Wow, that was super difficult. And it's upside down. Now, here is the bane of my existence, where we actually have to rip these stupid things out. And wow, they actually come out pretty easily. Because I know the official ones are like absolutely sealed in these things. But let me try and get Bandit out of here, and I think I just jinxed my luck. Ugh! Get out! Ugh. And he's already broken in half. As Leo Kim Video says, welcome to the dark side. Alright, so I knew these things were going to be inferior to the original product because that's just how knockoffs work. But these things just feel worse than diarrhea on a school night because these figurines are just awful just by feeling them as I open the pack. But yeah, we're just going to take a closer look at a few of these and compare them to the original. Alright, so as you can see, here is the official version, or the official figurine, and here is the knockoff. As you can tell, the knockoff does look kind of like the original, as it's essentially a direct copy, but there are a few differences that make the knockoff stand out, but not for the right reasons, of course. So, looking at the direct front of the figurines, as you can see, the knockoff does look remarkably similar, although it is missing some details such as the coloring of the eyebrows. And once you look towards the side, you can also notice that it has these weird sets of dots that the other knockoff figurines do. But honestly, I just think it's a huge distraction and it makes the knockoff look way more worse than it is, even though it's already terrible. And I have no clue why they left these on, but I assume it's to make like the printing or the coloring of the figurines easier and cheaper, because you know, knockoffs are just all about money. And of course, even with that, the coloring on the knockoff is significantly lower quality than the original, although that's not even a huge surprise. And here are the backs of both figurines, and as you can see, the official one overall has decent printing, although sometimes the spots and stuff can be a bit misaligned, and the knockoff one actually has decent placement, although if you look really closely, you can tell that this was very poorly stamped and made. There's like a bunch of scuffs and scratches on the dark blue part already, even though I just opened it. And well, this is an awkward shot, but I'm showing you this because, as you can see on the official one, they printed information about the toy manufacturer and where it's made. But of course, this just isn't present on the knockoff. And with that said, we can also compare the movements. As you can see, the movement of the arms and the legs on the official figurines, they do loosen up, but especially when they're brand new, they can be a bit tight. And I've noticed that this one, the legs kind of make it crooked and doesn't really go in all the way. But overall, it feels good, and the arms do stay up, so you can make them reenact different stuff, which is very nice to see. However, for the knockoff, this one just feels awful, and here's where everything falls apart, possibly literally. The arms are kind of tight on this one, but this one is just extremely loose. Like, this one, I could probably rip it off if I want to. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it's ripped, but I'm not going to tear it apart too much. Outside of that though, the legs are arguably the worst. As you can see, they just feel very janky and they're not connected well at all. So for me, Bandit is probably the most interesting one because he has the most differences. As you can see, the coloring on the knockoff is quite different. The blue is a different shade of color. The eyebrows are completely different colors. And of course, because they're knockoffs, this one doesn't have all of the little different colored hairs that the official one has. So I guess you could just call this a younger version of Bandit. Similar story on the back, they don't have the extra hairs and stuff. looks like a younger Bandit. And overall, the lining on the knockoff does look okay, but as we saw earlier, it was already broken basically. So let's just see how much damage we can cause here. Oh, I heard something crack. Oh, and there he goes. Goodbye, Bandit. Alright, so back to some better microphone quality. Here we have some of the other characters. We got Muffin, Coco, Rusty, and Snickers. As you can see, it's basically the same story, but for Coco, as you can see, the lining is obvious, and on this side, she's already coming apart. Muffin is overall okay, although it looks like she's missing some of her spots, which is no big surprise. Rusty just has white eyebrows for whatever reason, which is just such a major difference from his actual eyebrows. And his tail's just dead, I think. He should probably see a vet. And Snickers, overall, probably came out the best, even though his body is in extreme despair and is about to fall apart. And speaking of Snickers, let's take this hat off just because I think I can. Oh, I hear some cracking. I'm not a strong person, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I should mention that even though I got rid of some of it, there's actually a bunch of dust on the back of his head, or God knows what else. And as you can see, there's like a bunch of fingerprints and stuff that aren't mine. Hey, I think I can make him do the twist. Watch this. Oh, shoot. There he goes. Oh, man. That's gotta hurt. Well, I guess he's just a elongated bowling pin now. Good luck with that. Alright everyone, so as you can see, we got kind of a temporary setup here with just a table in front of my Bluey collection, which you could see kind of over there, which yes, I still plan on making a video about. But anyways, I wasn't originally planning on making another clip of me reviewing Bluey Knockoffs, but on Amazon, I found this just absolutely horrific set of monstrosities that I think are trying to be Bluey figurines. But yeah, it looked awful from the preview pictures, and of course I just had to get it for the video. Now it looks like there's not that much in here. I was expecting to get 8 figurines because that's what they actually showed in the picture, but oh shoot, looks like they're actually all there, and these are definitely special. I think this is Bandit, although it can basically be anything. Oh, there it goes. Oh no. This is gonna be bad. Just get out, please. You're doing all of us a favor. Okay, well, the build isn't terrible, but admittedly, it does feel very cheap, and outside of the shape, it feels and looks nothing like a Bluey character. Like, it just looks like a generic alien blob. And it looks like something you would get out of, like, one of those coin-operated machines or something, like the capsules and stuff. But yeah, overall, it's not like terribly awful, but it's like nothing notable either. It's just very bland and lazy. And while we're at it, there's one character that they really messed up, and I believe this is Snickers, or at least his very deformed cousin. I guess we'll just get this one open real quick. This should be a treat. Oh boy. I mean, just look at him. What the heck is that? I mean, he's the one who looks traumatized, but I think I'm pretty scared as well. I mean, just look at that poor guy's face. He has been through some crazy stuff. I don't honestly know what character this is supposed to be. It's like a mix between Bluey, Bandit, Chili, and Bingo. It's super weird and very cursed. And for the last one, I guess we'll just check out my favorite character, the red one. Rusty's a pretty good character, but yeah, this ain't Rusty. This is just a red Bingo. This is just so lazy. It's honestly laughable.
Look at the top of his head. Look at his lips. You look like the Jumba from Mario and Luigi movie. Boy, look at your nose, bro.
Granddad!
Well, that got a little out of hand, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and once again, I apologize if it wasn't as organized as the first episode, as this one has been in the works for a long time now, and I do have some knockoff coloring books I was gonna add into the video, but since it was getting a little bit too long, I decided to hold these over until another day. Also, I want to apologize for the lack of uploads and posts recently. I've been taking another little break since I've been getting stressed out by a couple things, but I do have some more exciting stuff in the works. But anyways, that's all from me for now, and until next time, B&B Productions will be signing out. Have a great day everyone, and I'll see you real soon. Bye everyone.